Hello, designers. This is Rebecca with your Assignment 1 Graphic Standard Sheet critique. First, I'll go through the assignment requirements and then I'll get into your submissions. For this assignment, you were to create a graphic standard sheet to demonstrate the new skills that you've learned thus far. And the requirements were basically a letter-sized document that includes your self-branded logo, fonts, colors, texture, style, and the website template that you might use to create your online portfolio. And then you were to turn it in as a PDF. So let's get started. All right. First, we are going to see Vanessa's submission. So here's Vanessa's logo. Very cute. I think it turned out great. I love the texture version specifically. And your fonts are fine. They're not very fun, I have to admit. Like, I think that you have room to swap one out for a more um, expressive or unique display font or something along those lines. Even a like a script font or just anything else, really. So just consider that for some of your headers for your website. It's not mandatory by any means, but these two fonts are so close together that I really don't see much of a difference between the two. So yeah, but the font for your logo looks nice and clean and is working lovely. As far as your color palette, it's also really nice. You may consider adding a few more colors because I've noticed that with a lot of these website templates, they need a lot more color options to cover all of the different headers, the links, the body copy, obviously, and different background little sections of the website. You may want to change to different colors as well. So consider just pulling out two more tints and shades between these two, or one even lighter than this one, that kind of thing. You may even throw in a darker gray, and you may choose a complementary color that bounces off of this blue, like something in the orange, yellow, or red family, just as like a pop of color. Not mandatory by any means. Like, it's cool if you keep it kind of tertiary as well, but just something to consider. All right, and then as far as this website template, it looks great. I think I've seen a lot of success with this type of template, with the menu down the left side and then your images nice and big over here on the right in the main window. So I think that'll work out great. Thank you so much. Great. Next up is Katrina. The logo turned out great. Yeah, it's really nice. I think you could reduce a little bit of space here between the name and the icon, but that's it. And that's just if you want to. I think there's room though to like make it a little tighter of a triangle for the overall gestalt. And then the colors are great. I really like that palette. I can't wait to see it all together. And then I love these fonts together. This is wonderful font pairing. The textures are very cool. I think they go really nicely with your logo icon there. I love the variation in the line weight here. It's like very organic, but uh, maybe with this font pairing, it makes it look a little futuristic. Like, it's very cool, and I think that's going to look great with this halftone here. Really awesome. Like that grungy, like a grungy futuristic feel is what I'm getting, and I like that. And then this template looks like it's going to be great. Excellent. Easy peasy, Katrina. Way to go. Next up is Nick's. So Nick, your icon is very cute. It turned out great. I really like it with this font. Looks really nice. On this version here, I don't really recommend using this that much because the line weight variation kind of almost muddies that icon when it's at that itty bitty scale, if that makes sense. You could consider just maybe removing that outside stroke if you wanted to use it in the design like that, but I think this is working really nicely, and I think just the regular N by itself would work out nicely too. Uh, the font pairings, I love Century Gothic Bold so much. What is this font? Why is that not in your list over here? And why is this font different than this font? Now you're really throwing me off, Nick. Just joking. I think this font is super fun. I think it would look great with Century Gothic Bold as your body copy. Um, yeah, so I don't know. Choose one of these, go with it. I'm not really like digging the Abril fat face with the Century Gothic Bold. Um, there's just, I don't know, I feel like there's just too much of a difference between the super thin strokes of the fat face font with the consistent medium weight of the Gothic Bold. So like I'm totally okay with finding a different serif font. I think this one's just not quite working with this one. If you were to go with like a Century Gothic thin with the Abril fat face, that might work. Okay. All right. Then for your color palette, that's a super fun color palette. You may need for your website, I'm just going to zoom out here. For your website, you may need to have a few tints of a couple of your colors. So I would go with like these top three colors, maybe pulling out a lighter tint of each of those three. Um, and then I think it'll look super fun with the film grain. That's going to be great. And this is a great template. I think it's going to look awesome. Excellent. Thanks so much, Nick. Next up is Audrey. All right, so here's Audrey's logo. Turned out great. When I first saw the sketch for this, I loved it so much. Um, I think, ooh, that Germania is really fun with this logo. Yeah, I like that. I don't know if you need the book Mania. I think the Germania would look great with the Ferrous Sands. So, I'd pick one of these two to go with your thin or your thin condensed body copy font there. Okay. Then this is a really awesome color palette. I love it very much. So that's going to look great. These textures are super fun. And yes, that's a great template. It's going to be awesome. So with your logo, have you tried it without the stroke? I am kind of anti-black stroke in general. So if you do want a stroke, maybe consider a darker shade of the red. Um, if you want a different way to sort of emphasize the edges, instead of a stroke, maybe consider a hard drop shadow that has no blur, something like that. Or even like a really cool hand-drawn perspective drop shadow that instead of just going like down, like a shift down and to the right, it pulls back to like a back or down to a perspective point that's like down here or maybe up here, that kind of thing. I don't think it needs it. Like, you, by all means, you can do it though. But it's just like so cool on its own. I think maybe you want the stroke because you like this line going into the tail. So yeah, so consider a darker um, color of this red, or even a lighter color might work, a lighter tint just to play with it, or a drop shadow. Okay, excellent, great. Thank you so much. Next up is Mallory. I'm just going to zoom out real fast. Great. So your logo turned out very cute. Okay, I understand that the palette is subject to change. I think also, I'm just reading this real fast. Okay, so some stuff maybe dropped out here, just in the conversion of the to the PDF. Maybe that could have happened. I'm not sure. But I do see a white here in your logo that's not quite showing up here. It might be this part here. I love the like soft cloudy texture. I don't think you need like the paper texture, but maybe it could be there. I do see like a brush stroke texture here that you could add to this list instead of the paper or instead of the cloud. I don't know. Yeah, I think I have to just see these two at play um, to get a better idea. And then these are great font pairings. I love them. I think that worked out really nicely. So what I do recommend, it's hard to tell what's going on with the colors because I see something down here, but I don't see like the actual swatch. You may need a few more colors for your website. So you could pick like a lighter tint of this color. And then I love that I don't see any black in this palette, which I think is great for, considering the logo itself and these like soft textures. I think no black is a good idea there. So I think you're going with a bit of a tertiary um, companion color that's kind of a teal color, but if not, I do recommend having a complementary color of some sort as an accent color. So it could be a tertiary color, it could be an opposite color on the color wheel. Um, so yeah, it just really helps out on the website to give it a little bit more flavor. And then I think this template will work. It looks really cute, so I think that'll be great. All right, thanks so much, Mallory. All right, next up is Aubriana. I'm just gonna zoom out here real fast so I can see it all. Okay, and I'm zooming back in. So I am just a little bit confused by the format of this. So if you could go back and just for the final presentation, relay out the format of your standard sheet just according to like the little template that I provided, just to make sure everything is in here. So the I think the logo turned out nice. It looks really nice, like the last name with the letter mark. I like the variation in line weight. Yeah, it's lovely. I think it's all right. That's great. This color palette is very nice too. I like this creamy color with the light pink. For your website, I don't think you need black at all with these colors and this color here. So consider maybe not having black. What you could have instead is an even darker shade of this pink to act as your um, black areas. Like maybe your body copy could be a super, super dark pink shade or something like that. Um, you could just play with it. Or change your black to a softer color that's like, a dark gray or a dark, maybe a dark purple or even a dark navy blue or something like that. You could kind of mess with it and see what looks best with this pink and these nice colors here. And then you may need another shade, I'm sorry, another tint between these two, just because your website is going to need a lot of different options for like changing the background sections, the background color, or different link colors, that kind of stuff. So up here, I see some link colors that are a really nice teal, like a dark, almost a slate teal, and that's a really cool color. So consider adding that down here instead, and then getting rid of the black. Yeah. Okay, so I do see your textures here. I don't see any examples of the textures, but I think that would look nice. Like lace would look really cool with those colors. I think that's a great idea. And I'm confused about oh, okay, this is the screenshot of the website. Okay, I got it. Jeez, I'm sorry. I'm having a hard time. Okay, excellent. Am I missing something? Okay, here's your fonts. I would like to see these fonts as the font, like make Bookmania be in the Bookmania font and make Dreamboat be in the Dreamboat font. That would be really helpful to me so I can see how they look paired together. Okay, excellent. Thank you so much. Oh, and don't forget to name your document with my naming format, please. Thank you. All right, next up is Kaylin. This looks great. Excellent. Okay, so I love how the logo turned out. I think it's really cool. I think having a secondary logo like this is also a wonderful idea. You may consider having a completely horizontal version where your letters aren't stacked, but only make it if you end up needing it somewhere. You know what I mean? So your colors are, unfortunately, I don't think they're going to be enough colors for your website. Like you may need to have a couple more tints of this black in your palette. It just depends on what your template asks for, but like these templates are usually loaded with several colors because of maybe different hyperlinks on the site, maybe different background sections to separate, the content visually. I love the grunge texture and I love this font. You may need a second font for your body copy, like this stuff that's small here, depending on how legible this is here, okay, at a smaller scale in a paragraph form. All right, fun. This is great, great textures. And yeah, I really like these template options. They're really nice. I mean, this one I can't see much of what happens after this screen, and I never recommend having a landing screen for your portfolio. It's just another thing to click through. It's like it's an obstacle to get to the content. So I would nix that one, depending on what else is past this screen. If your options past this screen for your gallery and your About Me page and the home page, all that stuff are really great, then that's one thing, if they're better than this one. But right now, this is the winner over just what I'm seeing from these first screen options, okay? Awesome. I love this texture back here. It's so cool. I hope you get to use this primary logo the most because it's awesome. I love all the texture. It's so great. Thank you. All right, next up is Michelle. Okay, your letter form turned out really nice. I really like the script with this beautiful heptaslab, and the articulate thin sans serif font is beautiful with that. So this is really nice font pairing or tripling or whatever we call them when there's three of them together. I think it looks really pretty. And then the color palette is nice. I'm not really seeing how this violet is working with these three. So I would consider maybe getting rid of the violet color and instead using lighter tints of all three of these, like introducing at least three more tints. And you may consider one darker shade of the red and not using any black in your site. So instead of using any black for your body copy or anything like that, you could use the super dark red or this beautiful slate dark tealish blue. It's really pretty. That's really nice. So I recommend all these lighter shades and darker, I'm sorry, lighter tints and darker shades for the website because a lot of times with these website templates, they'll just be like loaded with like literally 20 different swatches of colors that they're putting everywhere all over the site. And they have to do with, the colors for your different hot links, or I'm sorry, it's hyperlinks, different background sections, all these different things. So that's why I like to give you a heads up. You might need a few more color swatches. And this texture is very cool. I think that's going to look awesome. I like this bold minimalism um, for you. And then I think this website template is going to be great. Looks good so far. Excellent. All right. Thanks so much, Michelle. Excellent. And next is Amanda. All right. Let me just zoom out a bit because we're getting cropped off here. Whoa. I'm going to find, okay. Okay, great. Sorry about that. All right. So This logo turned out really fun. This is cool. I like this little icon here. Excellent. I think this font looks great with this. And this is cool too. Yeah, I think that's working. So Sunday masthead looks really nice with this New Nord light. Does the New Nord light have lowercase letters? And does it have like italicized letters and bold letter options? So, or I guess it would be New Nord in general. Like, does it have lowercase letters? Because you're going to have body copy, like paragraphs on your website, and you don't want them to be all caps through the whole website. People will stop reading. So, if New Nord does not have lowercase letters or italicized letter options or bold letter options, then you might need to find a different serif font for your body copy, okay? This is a super fun color palette. This green is so electric. It's pretty neat. So I would recommend maybe consider instead of black in your logo, which my eyes might be playing tricks on me. It might actually be this color here. Is if that's so, awesome. If it's not so, if this is black, I recommend using this color instead. I'm just not sure if I think it is that color. I can't tell if there's a glare on my screen or not, but yes. Okay. And then consider, well, I think you'll be okay. I was going to say you might need to have a few lighter tints of some of these darker colors, but I don't really want you to have pink in this site. It's not quite punchy enough. But it just depends on how many colors your website template is asking for. And so that's an option. You could go with darker shades or some lighter tints or a combination of both, okay? Great. So I like these two variations here, I think, and then this extra symbol. I think it's going to be great. If you wanted to, you could bring in this little dot, maybe on the other side of the word design and, nudge everything over to line up underneath your name, or you could even put it after, like between here, but just nudge it all over and make this a shorter line. I'm just trying to think where you could like introduce these little dots. Okay, no big deal. All right. Thank you so much. Great job, everybody. Thanks a lot.